now watching The Wash Daily. Today news, the website analyticalcannabis.com has put out a series over the past few months about the importance of metals in cannabis and the role the pharmaceutical industry has played in detecting them. So one of the aspects of cannabis which is really interesting is cannabis absorbs everything in its environment. So if you're growing cannabis in a toxic environment, the good news is the cannabis can actually eradicate the poisons in the environment through a process phytoremediation, which is the plant remediates the soil. But the problem is the soil, when it loses those dangerous toxins, it goes into the plant. It's not a plant you'd want to smoke or use or consume or anything. It's important to know how your plants are being grown when you're smoking them, and the plants that are being used for things like edibles and for vape cartridges are really important to understand, because the process used in extracting this THC really is significant and plays a big part to how contaminated those vapes are going to be in the long run. Using organically grown cannabis without any pesticides is a big deal, and especially in the case of using an extraction method like alcohol or butane, because when you're doing those methods, anything that's in this plant that doesn't get washed away gets compounded and gets reduced. So it actually becomes more problematic than if you were just smoking a joint of cannabis that had the same growing conditions. It's an important thing to think about with your cannabis. Also in news, the law site Harris Bricken put out a great story talking about Israel. Dr. Raphael McCollum is known as the grandfather of cannabis research involving the endocannabinoid system and the role the endocannabinoid system plays in the human body. Dr. McCollum has done a number of studies over the past 30 years, and some of the things he's discovered about cannabis is that it really is effective treatment post-trauma. It's effective for epilepsy. It's effective for pain management, and there's so much promise in it. Now, Dr. Raphael McCollum says that anyone who knows history knows that cannabis isn't a new thing. 2,000 years ago, they were using it medicinally, and it's well documented. 200 years ago, the Irish doctor William O'Shaughnessy made many discoveries around cannabis, especially around epilepsy, when he had in his care an Indian couple who were treating the symptoms of their daughter with epilepsy with cannabis. So this was in the 1800s. It's amazing that we're pretending that cannabis is new and that it requires heavy consideration. Thanks for watching The Wash Daily.